ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Good afternoon, and welcome to koolNews at 4. Senator Alan Peter Catiana is looking forward to hearing more long-term infrastructure plans from President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos in his third State of the Nation address on Monday. He also noted that these projects must transcend political administrations and leave a lasting legacy for Filipinos. Each administration has real pet bills, projects, or missions in life. BBM has long-term ambitions. Yung mga yung mga mabibigat na talagang gustong inyang ilaga, now it's the time to say it. Catiana said during a media briefing on Thursday. If you visit Hong Kong in the late 80s or early 90s, never ka pumunta ng Hong Kong na walang ginagawa sa kailang subway. Ngayon, after 30 years, konektado na ang buong ilalim nila at halos pwede mo rin lagarin at nakagabit na lahat ng tread, he said. He also mentioned that the same kind of efficient infrastructure can be observed in Japan. On point ko, are we going to be happy that the last administration negotiated the subway and then just wait for it to finish by 2027, 2028, or 2029? Hindi ba dapat yung part 2 ng subway or yung subway for Cebu or other trains for other parts of the country? Yung na yun palang inisip na? Iyan. My point is, are we going... Okay, that's English. I will not be reading that one. A 60-year-old German man is likely the 7th person to be effectively cured from HIV after receiving a stem cell transplant, doctors have announced. The painful and risky procedure is for people who have both HIV and aggressive leukemia, so it's not an option for almost all of the nearly 40 million people living with the deadly virus across the world. The German man, who switched to remain anonymous, was dubbed the next Berlin patient. The original Berlin patient, Kimani Ray Brown, was the first person declared cured of HIV back in 2008. Brown died from cancer in 2020. The second man from Berlin to achieve long-term HIV remission was announced ahead of the 25th International AIDS Conference being held in the German city of Munich next week. He was first diagnosed with HIV in 2009, according to the research abstract being presented at the conference. The man received a bone marrow transplant for his leukemia in 2015. The procedure, which has a 10% risk of death, essentially replaces a person's immune system. Then he stopped taking antiretroviral drugs, which reduced the amount of HIV in the blood in late 2018. Nearly 6 years later, he appears to be both HIV and cancer-free, the medical researchers said. Christian Gabler, a doctor researcher at Berlin's Charité University Hospital treating the patient, told AFP that the team cannot be absolutely certain every last trace of HIV has been eradicated. But the patient's case is highly suggestive of an HIV cure, Gabriel added. He feels well and is enthusiastic about contributing to our research efforts. International AIDS Society President Sharon Lewin said researchers hesitate to use the word cure or cure because it is not clear how long they need to follow up such cases. But more than 5 years in remission means the man would be close to being considered cured, she told a press conference. There is an important difference between the man's case and the other HIV patients who have reached long-term remission, she said. All but one of the other patients received stem cells from donors with a rare immunization in which part of the CCR5 gene was missing, blocking HIV from entering their body's cells. Those donors have inherited 2 copies of the mutated CCR5 gene, one from each parent, making them essentially immune to HIV, Lewin said. But the New Berlin patient is the first to have received stem cells from a donor who had inherited only 1 copy of the mutated gene. Around 50% of people from European origin have 1 mutated copy compared to 1% for both. Researchers hope the latest success means there will be a much longer potential donor pool in the future. The new case is also quote-unquote promising for the wider research for an HIV cure that works for all patients, Lewin said. This is because it suggests that you don't actually have to get rid of every single piece of CCR5 for gene therapy to work, she added. The Cadaver patient, whose case was announced at last year's AIDS conference, is the other exception among the 7. He received a transplant from a donor without any CCR5 mutations, yet still achieved long-term remission. This showed that the effectiveness of the procedure was not just down to the CCR5 gene, Lewin said. The Department of Agriculture DA on Friday warned the public against influenza AI or bird flu vaccines being sold online. Again, hindi natin nire-recommend yan at yan ay bawal doon. Kukuha lang ng bakuna doon sa mga reputable na institutions or source ng vaccines. Agriculture's Assistant Secretary Arnold de Mesa said in an interview. The Bureau of Animal Industry earlier issued a similar warning against avian influenza vaccines now accessible on various online shopping platforms. In an online platform, 100 milliliter and 200 milliliter of H5N1 vaccine doses were sold at 423 pesos to 790 pesos. The message said there may be a risk when using such unregulated products considering that bird flu is highly pathogenic. Kahit anong gamot na hindi tumaan sa proseso, inirekomenda ng FDA, Food and Drug Administration or ng BAI or hindi dumaan sa kung ano man ng regulasyon, bawal iyan ay any drug, bawal yan. Yeah. He said, citing the probability of AI transmission to humans, not to be confused with artificial intelligence. Kung hindi tama inyong pagkuna, it could be a poison both to the human and the animals, Demesa said. The DA said it is now coordinating with the FDA to act on the matter. The order allowing unconsolidated jeepney and unified vehicle express unit to operate on routes with low consolidation rates is a result of the transportation sector's collective efforts at pagkakaisa ng mga samahan ng T-Super at operator nationwide based on National President Modi Miranda on Saturday. Ito po ay tagumpay po ito ng siren ng ating mga rally at welga lalo na welga noong April 29, 8:30 at May 1, said Corando in teleradio interview. According to Board Resolution number 53 series of 2024 released by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, unconsolidated public utility vehicle units can operate under existing routes without filing for consolidation, but they are subject for approval of the local public transport route plan and route rationalization plan. The resolution was released on April 30, 2024 amid the nationwide transport strike of different transport groups to protest the government's public utility vehicle modernization program. The resolution is aimed at ensuring that there is sufficient PUV units available to commuters. In an interview with DCWB, LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadias III said that there are routes when there are only 1 to 4 operating units. Gumawa po kami ng isang board resolution hindi dahil sa Philip po ito, kung hindi dahil iisa o apat lang ang bumabiyahe jeep, said Guadias. These are gray areas when you have to examine them, he added. PUVs need to have consolidated franchise under the modernization program. As of April 23, LTFRB recorded a total of 150,179 consolidated PUVs, or 78.33% of 191,730 PUVs nationwide. Ferrando said that the government saw the demand for public transportation when the PUVs lessened from December 2023 to April 2024 due to consolidation concerns. Senator Alan Peter Catiano said all forms of gambling, including that of Philippine offshore gaming operators, POGOs, what you name it, e-bingo, or anything, should be banned nationwide. According to Catiano, gambling holds unintended consequences that come with its supposed advantages. It's because now, it's just like legal gaming forms, pero may unintended consequences yan, Catiano said in an interview with reporters Thursday. Ano bang yung tinatanim natin sa next generation? Wala pa akong country na nakikita na tumatangklik sa mga online gaming na talagang umalat, he added. Catiano's remark came amid congressional investigations of POGOs and various illegal activities linked to its operation. Other members of the Senate and House of Representatives have also voiced their opposition to further allowing POGOs in the country. In 2022, Catiano filed Senate Bill No. 63, or the Anti-Online Gambling Act. As of writing, it is still pending before the Senate Committees on Ways and Means and Public Order and Dangerous Drugs. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. approved the new Government Procurement Act, or NGPA, and the Anti-Financial Accounts Scamming Act. In a ceremony at the Malacanang Palace on Saturday, July 20, Marcos signed the NGPA, or Republic Act 12009, which is a harmonized version of Senate Bill No. 2593 and House Bill No. 9648 that aims to address loopholes in the current government procurement system for a more economical and responsive process. The NGPA streamlines the procurement process from 3 months to just 60 days by standardizing procurement forms and institutionalizing electronic procurement, Marcos said in his speech. On the other hand, FAASA, or Republic Act No. 12010, intends to protect Filipinos from online scams. This new law mandates financial institutions to implement necessary safeguards to protect our citizens' accounts. It will protect our people from falling prey to predators who target their banks and e-wallet accounts, Marcos said. The Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council led by Marcos tagged the two laws as priority measures. In a separate statement, the Bangko Sentro ng Pilipinas said it welcomes the passage of FAASA. We express our full support for the new anti-financial account scamming law. This will help us strengthen consumer protection and foster trust and confidence in the Philippine financial system, said BSP Governor L.D.M. Romolona Jr. AFSA authorizes the BSP to investigate cases that violate the law, apply for cybercrime warrants and orders, and request assistance from the National Bureau of Investigation and Philippine National Police in the investigation of case. That was a really wild ban recent until I just saw in the live stream. Very interesting. It also allows the BSP to examine and investigate bank accounts, e-wallets, and other financial accounts that are involved in prohibited acts. As a day has passed since both Microsoft and CrowdStrike have suffered an outage uh, thanks to the faulty driver update that was pushed to Windows computers. So, yep, it is still no good as the global Microsoft outage that hit computer systems worldwide continue to wreak havoc on flights at Philippine airports on Saturday, July 20, resulting in the cancellation of 46 flights. The Manila International Airport Authority (MIAA) reported that several flights were cancelled due to technical issues linked to the massive failure of Microsoft-based system. In an advisory, the Manila International Airport authorities listed the cancelled flights as of 8 p.m. on July 20. So here are the affected destinations: Incheon, Manila; Denpasar, Manila; Bangkok, Manila; Shanghai, Manila; Hanoi, Manila; Cebu, Manila; Versailles, Manila; Tacloban, Manila; Cagayan de Oro, Manila; Calooc, Manila; Iloilo, Manila; Tipolog, Manila; Butuan, Manila; Cadillac, Manila; Davao, Manila; Davao, Manila; Davao, Manila; Iloilo, Manila; Manila to Legazpi to Manila; Manila to Cebu; Manila to Cebu to Manila; Manila to Iloilo to Manila; and Manila to Catilan to Manila; and in an international flight from United Airlines, Manila to San Francisco. So yep, it is still no good that it is the flights are cancelled, but we do hope that the flights will be back up when things get sorted out by then. All right, it is now 18 minutes after 4 and cool news at 4. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cool News at 4. Okay, so let's continue with the headlines. I was really in a rush to just get back into the studio, but anyways, the show must go on, so let's get into some headlines from earlier this morning now, since this is apparently weekend and we do not expect much of the news as it is weekend. So yeah. Excuse me. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. officially installed his good friend Sonny Angara as the new Education Secretary to Liti, Department of Education DepEd. The oath-taking ceremony took place at the palace on Friday, July 19th, exactly a month after Vice President Sara Duterte quit the Marcos administration's cabinet. I have just administered the oath to our good friend here, Secretary Sonny Angara, for his new position in the Department of Education. That formalizes his taking on the position of Secretary for DepEd, Marcos said during the event. Marcos also expressed optimism about his appointment of Angara as DepEd chief. We have had some discussions before he took on to give ourselves a good idea of what we think needs to be done. I know Sonny knows what is important, and I know that he knows how to get things done. So I am very, very optimistic for DepEd, he noted. Angara, a just resigned senator, thanked Marcos for trusting him to lead such an important government department. Mr. President, I know how much you value education, much as every Filipino family does. I look forward to working very closely with you in the coming days and months for the needed reforms in our educational system for the benefit of our young learners, for the benefit of future generations, he said. Vice President Duterte resigned as Education Secretary in June and officially handed over the DepEd leadership to Angara on Thursday, July 18. Following the turnover ceremony at the DepEd Central Office in Pasig City, Duterte was asked by reporters if her resignation from the cabinet was related to her rift with First Lady Lisa Adriana Marcos. No, she replied. The First Lady has nothing to do with my job working with President Marcos, she added in the Filipino. Alright, there you go. So let me be quick here. I'm just gonna take a little bit here. Give me a second. Okay, sorry out now. So let's see. Here's the recap headline that we covered early on Cool News at noon. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources BFAR said shellfishes from Bataan are now safe for consumption. This developed as the BFAR lifted the warning it issued Wednesday along Bataan's coastal waters due to the presence of Gymnodium catenatum, the microorganism that causes toxic red tide and paralytic shellfish poisoning. High concentration of Gymnodium catenatum usually produce toxic red tides or the turning of seawater into reddish color. In a shellfish bulletin Friday, July 19, the BFAR National Police said all types of shellfishes and SP are alamang from the coastal waters of Bataan provinces, Maribeles, Limay, Orion. Okay, wait, sorry. Pilar, Hermosa, Orani, Abucay, and Samaltans and Balanga City are now safe to eat. To safeguard human lives, we are issuing this warning as a precautionary advice to the public to refrain from gathering, selling, and eating all types of shellfishes and Estes SPP. Locally known as alamang from the mentioned localities of Bataan to avoid possible shellfish poisoning. Just what happened here. Might be disconnected. Oh yeah, I did get this. Wait, give me a second. Yeah. Yep, I'm gone. Okay, give me a second, therapy. Give me a second. In a Facebook post on the evening of July 19, the BFAR Central Luzon said it was glad to announce that the coastal waters of Bataan are now safe from red tide. After 3 consecutive analyses, the same shellfishes and water samples no longer have the organism to that causes red tide. It said, adding that it will continue to monitor Bataan's coastal waters to ensure the safety of the public. According to the BFAR, squid, crab, and shrimp from areas with red tide are still safe to eat if they are fresh and washed thoroughly, and if all dirt and trails are removed. Alright, once again, give me a second. I'm just going to be back in the studio. I don't know what's with the technical issues today. Oh, great. Okay, great. Okay. Alright, there we go. It's back. Okay, nice. Alright. Yep. Not off to a good start, huh? Not off to a good Second. Alright, back to business now. Where was I? Okay. Currently, the agency noted that most of the coastal waters of the country are free from toxic red tide, including the coastal waters of Pampanga and Bulacan and Central Luzon. The BFAR, however, said the only areas still affected by toxic red tide are Honda Bay in Princesa, Palawan, Duis, and Tacbilaran in Bohol, San Benito in Surigao del Norte, and Duman-Quilas Bay in Sabogao del Sur. The Philippine unit of Japan-based firm Taiheyo Cement integrated a new production plant in Cebu, the Department of Trade and Industry DTI said on Friday. The DTI said the Taiheyo Cement Philippines Incorporated TCPI new 12.8 billion pesos facility that was unveiled on Thursday will boost cement production in the country and reduce the nation's reliance on imports. Taiheyo's new plant in San Fernando, Cebu will bolster the Philippines cement production by 3 million tons annually, reducing our reliance on imports, Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascal said in a statement. This investment aligns perfectly with our government's Build Better More infrastructure program, he added. The DDI also said that the new plant features advanced kaolin renewal technology, which features carbon dioxide emissions by at least 10% through decreased energy consumption and a lower clinker factor. We commend TPCI for setting a new standard for environmentally responsible manufacturing in the cement industry. This advanced technology is set to reduce carbon dioxide emissions significantly, Pascual said. According to the DTI, TPCN has investigated significantly in related projects, including 3.1 billion pesos for its jetty and marine belt conveyor project, another 1.4 billion pesos for the company's port area, and 3.7 billion pesos for its Luzon distribution terminal project. The government agency also highlighted Japan as a major catalyst for economic growth, with the East Asian country having provided over $13 billion in grants and low-interest loans through their official development assistance program. Japan is a vital partner to the Philippines. It is our second largest trading partner and third largest source of foreign investments, Pascal said. Further, the DTI said that the integration of Taiheyo Cement Philippines Incorporated Advanced Manufacturing Facility highlights the Philippine government's commitment to sustainable development and industrial growth under the Build Better program. To sustain this momentum, our country is committed to improving our business environment by enhancing the ease of doing business. We are streamlining and digitalizing institutional and regulatory requirements to improve speed and overall ease of doing business, especially for strategic investments, said Pascal. Oh boy, we have some continued developing story regarding the outage, as it also has affected Paris Olympics too. We'll get into that in just a bit, so let's just wait for it to load. There it is. It's loading. There you go. All right. The Paris Olympics were affected by the global IT outage on Friday, with organizers temporarily unable to handle accreditations to athletes and officials arriving for the games. Remember this, or that's as it was not. It's not just this one. It's the airlines, banks, TV channels, and other businesses across the world have struggled also, owing to one of the biggest computer crashes in recent years, caused by an update to an antivirus program. Like a lot of organizations, we suffered this global Microsoft outage, Chief Organizer Tony S. Tanquet told reporters a week before the opening ceremony of the Olympics. All of our servers were affected this morning. By 5 p.m., the organizing committee said its operations were now running normally, with the evening hour at its accreditation center extended to help clear a backlog of demands. Thousands of athletes have begun flying into the French capital ahead of July 26 to August 11 event, while the organizing committee is also distributing badges and uniforms to 45,000 volunteers. The IT problems did not affect Paris Airport Operator ATP, but the arrival of some delegations has been impacted by delays to their flights, the organizing committee added. We weren't necessarily expecting an IT outage a few days before the start of the games, as Quintet said. So there you go. This was one of the biggest mistakes that one of the third party made, pushed with a faulty update. Oh boy. And the consumer Calzada Corriente Group on Friday urged the Marcos administration to immediately abolish taxes on electricity and petroleum products to ease the burden of our poor. If we look back on the early term of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., he declared that the economic status of our countrymen will be improved. In a simple and clear sense, it will improve our lives. With his good promise and to fulfill it, he can do so by immediately abolishing electricity and petroleum taxes. It should be included in his priority bills in his third SONA, the group said in a statement. The massive VAT layer on petroleum and electricity products is one of the root causes of why basic goods and services are so high, the group added. It also cited Pulse Asia's Vietnam survey released last Friday, where inflation is regarded as an urgent national concern by the majority of the Filipinos that should be immediately addressed by the government. This survey also showed that inflation was the only one national concern cited by the majority of Filipinos that they want President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to tackle in his third State of the Nation address on Monday. Also, the Police Regional Office BICO will enhance border control and checkpoint operations to thwart groups that may be planning to travel to Manila and disrupt the third State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at the Patasan Pabanza Complex in Quezon City on Monday. PRO5 Regional Director Brigadier General Andre Dizon said Friday they will intensify security operations to ensure public safety and order. To manage the movement of effectively, comprehensive border security control points will be established at key locations. The checkpoints are designed to deny entry, exit, and passage to organizations affiliated with communist terrorist groups and other potentially disruptive elements, he said in a statement. The PRO5 will also increase visibility, intelligence-driven operations, mobile and foot patrols, and community relations in order to dissuade criminal activities, provide immediate response, and foster a sense of security among the public. Specialized crowd dispersal management units will be on standby, ready for deployment to manage and peacefully disperse potential protests if the need arises, the PRO5 said. The units are trained to handle large gatherings and ensure that demonstrations remain peaceful and orderly. The units will also leverage social media platforms to disseminate updates and encourage citizens to remain vigilant. In a separate interview, PRO5 spokesperson LT Colonel Malu Kaluquip assured the public of maximum tolerance but said he will not hesitate to enforce the law on the violators. PRO5 is committed to safeguarding the community, upholding the rule of law, and ensuring a peaceful and orderly community for all. These security measures serve as a testament to the PRO's dedication to maintaining public safety and supporting the government's initiatives for a stable and secure nation, she said. Alright, it is now 80 minutes before 5 and we will have a brand new entertainment segment which will be covering anime news later, part of entertainment news on koolNews at 4. So stick around, koolNews at 4, we'll be right back.
Kaya ang ambisyon mo,
Welcome back to the movies at 4 p.m. Now let's get into the entertainment along with a brand new weekend segment which we will cover anime later before Cool News ends. Let's start with the Manny Jacinto as Filipino-Canadian actor aired his disappointment after his lines were cut in the movie Top Gun Maverick, saying Tom Cruise was only writing for himself and adding it's up to Asian American actors to find projects that will cater to them. At the end of the day, Tom Cruise is writing stories for Tom Cruise. It's up to us, Asian Americans and people of color, to see that for ourselves. We can't wait for somebody else to do it. If we want bigger stories out there, we have to make them for ourselves, he told GQ magazine in a recent interview. Despite his axe dialogue and brief screen time, Jacinto, who is of Filipino-Chinese descent, remained grateful to have the chance to work for a bigger and more famous franchise such as Top Gun. There was this sense of where the film was going on set, like I can see them focusing the camera more on these other guys and not taking so much time on our scenes. Fortunately, it still was a great experience. You get to see this huge machine at work, see how Tom Cruise works, and you get to be a small part of this huge franchise, he said. The acolyte actor affirmed that the experience fueled him to take matters into his own hands as he aspires to move forward with his career. If anything, it fuels me to try and create things on my own terms and hopefully lead projects that way, he said, adding that he's laying the groundwork for that by working with Filipino writers and producers for upcoming projects. I would love to do an incredible A24 or Neon Indie. I would love to be part of a new franchise, whether it's a comic, a manga, or an anime like Naruto or One Punch Man. There's still so much I need to do, continued the actor. Jacinto is currently earning waves for his role as Quimir, aka Sith Lord, in the Star Wars series The Acolyte. He's also known for his portrayal as Jason Mendoza on the fantasy comedy The Good Place and for voicing Malinsky in the English language voice cast of Netflix Terrace, among others. His future projects include Freaky Friday 2, The Ninth and Brothers. Alright, no hate to him, but I have to say The Acolyte is not a good show. But anyways, let's see if we have any more here. Alright, so far not much interesting for me to cover, but now let's get into the most exciting part, which we will be covering anime news only on weekends on Cool News, exclusive to this newscast on Cool News at 4, which we will now cover anime news before the end of the Cool News at 4. Alright, let's begin. And I will say this again, this is part of entertainment news, so keep that in mind. This is part of entertainment news. Alright. Let's go find it here. Alright, so first, anime news on Cool News at 4. The Final Fantasy XIV, or I should say 14 MMORPG, recently launched its expansion Down Trail. With its release, Square Enix has also been working with other companies to craft collaborations for Warriors of Light to obtain physical and digital items. This series is no stranger to collaborations, having partnered with GubHub for the Eat Pizza emoji, Burger Fingers, and Twitch for the Choco Popcorn mount, and recently Mountain Dew for none other than the wonderfully named Modezu. Naoki Yoshida and the game staff announced during the 82nd live letter live stream on June 14 a collaboration between the Final Fantasy 14 and bubble tea company Concha. The collaboration has officially started as of Wednesday. The exact details of the collaboration varies per region. In the US, Europe, and Oceania, at least customers can purchase drink drinks from Gongcha in a single transaction to claim either a keychain featuring Moscow characters on miniature bubble tea cups or an exclusive in-game Proxy King mount. Regarding the mount specifically, Gongcha is offering physical scratch cards with a code that must be redeemed on the separate website that requires players to log into their Final Fantasy 14 credentials. That website will then provide another code which then must be entered into Monk Station so that players can get in-game mail with their mount. Each mount can only go to the single character and it cannot be won on a free trial. The mount itself, the Crown Proxy King, is a variation of an existing mount, the Portally Proxy, which players can really obtain in-game through triple quests from the Shadowbringers expansion. But Proxy King has a new hat! And wait, there's more! Customers can instead opt for one of the adorable keychains featuring the Fat Chocobo, Mongol, and Fat Cat creatures from the game. Gongcha also has special collaboration drinks themed after those same characters, the Fat Cat Perfect Latte, Fat Chocobo Flying Smoothie, and Cocktail Latte. These are special cups for the drinks as well. Note that although these three drinks are specific to the collaboration, customers can purchase any 3 drinks to get award. The collaboration runs July 17 to August 28, and any codes obtained from scratch cards must be redeemed by September 4. During that time, customers can obtain codes or keychains while supplies last. Although the mount itself is a digital item, the codes are printed on the physical cards, so there may be a limited quantity if there are no restocks. Unfortunately, the code cards and keychains must be redeemed physically. While there are Gongcha locations worldwide, they are not in every country. So, yes, I have just read the locations earlier. Philippines has not been mentioned, so again, they are not in every country. Even within countries, they are not in every city, and US residents may have to travel if they want the exclusive gift. The rules state that mount codes may not be transferred or sold, although that has stopped some individuals from making money off of them. In Japan, it's a little bit different. Players need to spend 2,000 yen or about $12.70 or more in mobile orders and Gongcha to obtain a digital. They can obtain the keychains by spending 3,000 Japanese yen or about $19.05 to enter a lottery for the merch. As 3 drinks are required for the gifts, there may be a long wait or even errors ordering drinks. Gongcha employees are understandably working hard to fulfill these requests. Although there's no word on either the items will ever be available after the collaboration ends, once limited items like the Eat Pizza emoji and the Choco Procure mount have returned through such means as the Final Fantasy 14 Online Star or new campaigns. For Warriors of Light lucky enough to be near a Gongcha, that's very cool. Sentence here. Enjoy those fine pigs and bubble tea goodies, Kupo! Very nice ending line there. Alright, and we'll do one more and we're gonna wrap it up. Alright, so let's see. Well, I'm just finding one which is covering. So I should say this is kind of not really anime but a week news, but yeah. Now the last anime headline for koolNews for today. The official X Twitter account for Dark Auction Hitler no Isan or Dark Auction Hitler's Legacy, a new mystery adventure game by Good Stuff. Manga creator Hokusuke and Trace Memory Hotel Room 215 writer Rika Suzuki announced on Friday that the game is delayed to 2025. The game was previously scheduled to launch for Nintendo Switch and Steam in 2024 with audio in Japanese and English and text in English, Japanese, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. The publisher, Isan Angi Games, is releasing the game. And we have one more news to cover, as Crunchyroll is going to be rolling out the new branding logo front end GUFs starting on July 25. So what I am seeing here is that, well, the logo, I don't know, it kind of stays the same, but but we have a new, yeah, and they do have a brand new Crunchyroll ATYP font, so that's interesting. Again, but yeah, looking good so far for Crunchyroll. Alright, that will be it for Cool News at 4. As always, if you have any news tips or feedback you want to send us, you can do it by emailing it to tvhthephilippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with Cool News at 6 and an hour long of Cool News Prime Time at 9. And finally, before we go, Cool News at 4 will not be aired on Monday, July 22 due to the zonal coverage as this newscast will be preempted. And yes, and again, we will be doing another anime news segment only on weekends on Cool News at 4 tomorrow. Until then, I am Asker, also known as Cairo. Good afternoon.